Hi guys, it's Carol. How you doing? I am showing you something I have never let anybody see before except my family. And that's me with my hair all in curlers. But I wanted to tell you this story that I just happened to think of. Um, I have a grandson that's a senior in high school this year, but back when he was a toddler, he didn't talk forever. I mean, he said mama, things like that, but to say actual words, no, it took him forever to decide he wanted to talk. And one day, I used to let them play with my box of Velcro rollers. He and his brother liked to stick them together and build with them, they thought. Well, I had real short hair then. I'd let my hair grow out some, and so I got the box of rollers out and rolled my hair up. And my daughter came in with her two boys. We're going to call the littlest one Randolph. That is not his name. But anyway, she was holding Randolph in her arms, and they came in, and he looked at me. I mean, he must have been somewhere between almost 3 at least. He looked at me and he looked and he opened his little baby mouth and he said, "What dat on you head?" Well, after we got over the shock of him saying a sentence, I said, "Well, Randolph, it's just these Velcro rollers I let you play with all the time." And he looked at me again, and then he shivered like that was the scariest thing he had ever seen in his life. And it probably was. And then he said, "Well, get that off you head." Oh, we thought that was so funny. Um, and I wasn't worried about him that he didn't talk until he was sometime after 3 because I didn't talk until I was somewhere after 3. Um, my mom told me that she took me to the doctor to see why I didn't talk. We just lived in a little bitty town in New Mexico, and there was just, they were lucky to have a general practitioner. They didn't have a specialist. And my mom wouldn't have been able to afford one if they had. But anyway, took me to the doctor because I didn't talk. And he decided that I was, I don't know what they call it now. Back then they called it that ugly R word that we don't say anymore. I guess developmentally delayed or learning disabled, something like that is what we call it now. But back then it was that ugly R word. He told her that's what I was. And I have thought a million times, it's a wonder that my parents didn't have money. They were poor as dirt. If they'd had money, they probably would have shipped me off to an institution and locked me away. But my mom always told me this story about we lived out in the country, and I played outside all the time. And one day I came in, running into the house, finding her, and I just went and pointed outside. Well, she knew that meant there was a snake out there. Where we lived, we had rattlesnakes. So she went out there, and sure enough, there was a rattlesnake right where I'd been playing, and she had to get the hoe and kill it. And that was when I was 3, so I know I just started talking sometime after 3. I always thought it was because in the house where I lived, it was best if you be quiet. I probably learned that early and just didn't want to talk. But anyway, that's a story about my grandson, and get that off your head. Bye.